Space is one of the greatest mysteries of all time. It is endless, full of wonders, and still hides countless secrets from us. Every time scientists look deeper into the universe, they discover something new that makes us question what we thought we knew. In this video, we are going to explore 10 mind-blowing space facts that most people have never heard of before. These facts are strange, surprising, and fascinating, and they will change the way you think about the universe. So, get ready to go on a journey far beyond Earth and discover the hidden wonders of space. When we think about cold, we usually imagine Antarctica, snowy mountains, or maybe the freezing winds at the North Pole. But compared to space, even those places feel warm. The normal background temperature of the universe is about -455 degrees Fahrenheit. That's already colder than anything we can experience on Earth. But here's the mind-blowing part: astronomers discovered a place even colder than empty space itself. This place is called the Boomerang Nebula, and it lies about 5,000 light-years away from us. Inside this cloud of gas, the temperature drops to -458 degrees Fahrenheit. That is just 1 degree above absolute zero, the point where atoms stop moving completely. Scientists believe it got this cold because a dying star at the center of the nebula is blasting out gas so quickly that it expands and cools at an extreme rate. To put this into perspective, if you could somehow stand inside the Boomerang Nebula, it would be far colder than any ice, far colder than liquid nitrogen, and even colder than deep space itself. It is literally the coldest known place in the entire universe. And the most amazing part? It is not at the edge of the cosmos. It's right here in our own Milky Way galaxy. On Earth, diamonds are rare, precious, and expensive. People search deep underground for small pieces of them, and they're considered one of the most valuable gems in the world. But imagine an entire planet made mostly of diamonds. That sounds like science fiction, but scientists believe it may be real. This strange world is called 55 Cancri. It is about 40 light-years away from us, orbiting a star similar to our Sun. What makes this planet so special is its composition. Astronomers think it contains a huge amount of carbon, and because of the intense pressure and heat inside the planet, that carbon could be crystallized into diamonds. Instead of mountains of rock like Earth, this planet may have layers of glittering diamond deep beneath its surface. To give you an idea of how extreme it is, 55 Cancri is about twice the size of Earth, and it's so close to its star that a year there lasts only 18 hours. The temperature on the surface is so hot, over 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit, that it could melt metal. So, even though it may sound like a paradise of jewels, it's actually a world where no human could survive. Still, just the thought of a planet covered in diamonds is enough to remind us how strange and surprising the universe can be. Out there in the cosmos, what we see as rare and priceless might actually be common and abundant. When people think about space, they usually imagine stars, planets, and galaxies. But hidden among those wonders are giant clouds made of gas and dust. And here's a fact that might surprise you: scientists have actually found alcohol floating in space. Yes, you heard that right. In the center of our galaxy, the Milky Way, there's a massive gas cloud called Sagittarius B2. Inside this cloud, astronomers discovered a type of alcohol called ethanol, the same kind that's in wine, beer, and other drinks. But this isn't just a small amount. The cloud is so large that it contains enough alcohol to make 400 trillion pints of beer. That's more than all the alcohol humans could ever drink in the history of the world. Of course, before you start imagining a cosmic bar, there's a catch. This alcohol isn't drinkable the way we know it. It's mixed with other toxic chemicals that would make it deadly to humans. So while it sounds fun to think about rivers or oceans of beer in space, the reality is much less enjoyable. Still, the discovery is fascinating. It shows us that the basic building blocks of life, including organic molecules like alcohol, can be found far beyond Earth. It's another reminder that space isn't empty at all. It's full of strange and unexpected surprises. When a massive star reaches the end of its life, it explodes in a huge event called a supernova. What's left behind after this explosion is sometimes a neutron star. Neutron stars may look small compared to the giant star they came from, but they are among the most extreme objects in the universe. A neutron star is only about 12 miles wide, roughly the size of a city, but it packs more mass than our entire Sunday. That means just 1 teaspoon of neutron star material would weigh billions of tons on Earth. Now here's the mind-blowing part, some neutron stars spin incredibly fast. They can rotate hundreds of times every single second. These superfast ones are called pulsars, and as they spin, they shoot out beams of radiation, almost like a cosmic lighthouse. Imagine something the size of a city, heavier than the sun, spinning faster than a blender or a jet engine. The speed is so extreme that if you could stand on the surface, though you can't, it would fling you off instantly at a fraction of the speed of light. Scientists study pulsars not only because they're fascinating, but also because they act like natural space clocks. Their rotations are so regular that astronomers can use them to navigate through space, almost like GPS signals. These tiny, spinning stars remind us that even in death, stars can be some of the most powerful and mysterious objects in the cosmos. When we think about water, we usually think of Earth, our oceans, rivers, and lakes. After all, water is what makes our planet so special. Without it, life as we know it wouldn't exist. But here's a fact that might shock you: scientists have discovered that space holds far more water than Earth ever could. Astronomers studying distant galaxies found an enormous cloud of water vapor floating in space, about 12 billion light-years away. This cosmic water supply is so huge that it contains 140 trillion times more water than all the oceans on Earth combined. That's not just a lake, not even an ocean, it's a galactic ocean spread across light-years of space. Even closer to home, researchers have found signs of water on moons, planets, and even in tiny frozen comets. Jupiter's moon Europa, for example, is covered in ice, and beneath that icy shell lies a massive ocean that may hold more water than Earth's oceans put together. Saturn's moon Enceladus also shoots jets of water vapor into space, showing that it, too, hides a vast ocean beneath its surface. This tells us something important: water isn't rare in the universe. In fact, it might be common. And if water is common, then the chances of life existing elsewhere in the cosmos become much higher. So the next time you look at the ocean here on Earth, remember, it's just a drop compared to the unimaginable reservoirs of water that float out in the universe. When most people think of black holes, they imagine dark, silent monsters that swallow everything around them. And it's true, black holes are so powerful that not even light can escape their pull. But here's something incredible: black holes aren't completely silent. In their own strange way, they can sing. Back in 2003, NASA scientists discovered something unusual in a cluster of galaxies called Perseus. Using special instruments, they picked up sound waves rippling through the gas around a supermassive black hole. These sound waves were so deep and so low in frequency that no human ear could ever hear them. In fact, the pitch was 57 octaves below middle C on a piano, the lowest note ever detected in the universe. To us, it would be silence, but in reality, the black hole was humming a cosmic tune. The sound itself comes from the way black holes interact with the matter around them. As gas and dust swirl in, they heat up, move, and vibrate, creating ripples like a drumbeat in space. Scientists call this acoustic waves, and studying them helps us understand how black holes grow and affect their galaxies. So while a black hole may look like a silent void, it's actually capable of producing the deepest, strangest music in the cosmos, a sound so powerful it echoes across hundreds of thousands of light-years. Jupiter, the largest planet in our solar system, has a very famous feature: a giant swirling storm called the Great Red Spot. This storm is so big that for centuries, it has been visible even through small telescopes from Earth. In fact, the storm is larger than our entire planet. Imagine a hurricane on Earth, then multiply its size many times, and you'll get an idea of how massive it really is. The Great Red Spot has been raging for at least 350 years, and possibly much longer. But scientists have noticed something surprising: it's shrinking. In the late 1800s, the storm was about 25,000 miles across. Today, it's less than half that size. Year after year, it's getting smaller, and researchers aren't sure exactly why. Some think the storm is slowly losing energy, while others believe changes in Jupiter's atmosphere are forcing it to shrink. Even though it's getting smaller, the storm is still enormous, big enough to swallow Earth whole. But if the trend continues, someday the Great Red Spot might disappear entirely. That would be historic, because for generations it has been one of the most iconic features of our solar system. It's a reminder that even the biggest, most powerful forces in the universe don't last forever. Just like stars are born and die, storms, even giant ones, can fade with time. When we think about space, we often imagine silence, darkness, and emptiness. But here's something you probably didn't know: space actually has a smell. Of course, astronauts can't take off their helmets in space to sniff the air, because there isn't any air to breathe. But when they return from spacewalks and take off their suits inside the spacecraft, they've reported a very unusual odor. Some astronauts say it smells like burnt steak, others describe it as hot metal, welding fumes, or even gunpowder. It's not a pleasant, fresh smell, it's more like the scent of something scorched. Scientists believe this comes from high-energy vibrations caused by atoms and molecules that have been exposed to radiation in space. When these particles stick to an astronaut's suit and equipment, they release a chemical reaction that produces this burnt smell once they're back inside the spacecraft. It's a strange thought, isn't it? Space, which looks completely empty and silent, actually leaves behind a strong odor when you return from it. This small detail makes space feel a little more real and a little more mysterious. Even in the vast emptiness of the universe, there are hidden signs that remind us it's not as empty as it looks. One of the strangest and most fascinating things about our universe is that time itself doesn't flow the same everywhere. Thanks to Albert Einstein's theory of relativity, we know that time can actually bend and change depending on speed and gravity. This means that someone in space could experience time differently than someone on Earth. Here's how it works. The faster you move, the slower time passes for you compared to someone who is standing still. This effect is called time dilation. Astronauts on the International Space Station orbit Earth at nearly 17,500 miles per hour. Because they are moving so fast and are also in a weaker gravitational field than we are on Earth's surface, they experience time just a little bit more slowly. It's only a fraction of a second difference, but it adds up. If you spent many years traveling close to the speed of light, you might come back to Earth and find that decades, or even centuries, have passed, while you only aged a few years. In other words, space travel could make you a kind of time traveler into the future. This isn't just science fiction, it's been proven with highly accurate atomic clocks placed on airplanes, satellites, and in space. They all show tiny but measurable differences in time. So every astronaut who has gone to space has, in a way, aged just a little slower than the rest of us back here on Earth. It's a mind-bending reminder that time is not fixed. It's flexible, shaped by the universe itself. When we look up at the night sky, it feels huge and endless. But here's a question that scientists still can't fully answer: does the universe ever end, or is it infinite? What we know for sure is that we live inside something called the observable universe. This is the part of the cosmos that light has had enough time to reach us from since the Big Bang, about 13.8 billion years ago. That's why we can only see a limited portion of space, even with the most powerful telescopes. But beyond that observable edge, we don't know what's out there. The universe could keep going forever, stretching farther than we can ever imagine. Some scientists believe it's truly infinite, with no end at all. Others think it might be finite, but so enormous that our minds can't really picture it. And then there are theories suggesting multiple universes might exist, each with its own stars, galaxies, and maybe even its own version of us. The idea of infinity is hard to grasp. If the universe is endless, then no matter how far you travel, there will always be more. Galaxies without end, stars beyond counting, and mysteries waiting forever. It makes us realize how small we really are, living on a tiny blue planet in just one corner of a possibly infinite cosmos. So, the truth is, we don't yet know the final answer. But that's what makes space so exciting. The greatest mysteries are still waiting to be discovered. We've just explored 10 incredible facts that show us how strange and surprising the universe really is. From planets made of diamonds to storms bigger than Earth, from the sound of black holes to the mystery of infinity, space never stops amazing us. And the truth is, we've only scratched the surface. Out there are billions of galaxies, each with billions of stars, and probably even more secrets waiting to be discovered. The more we learn, the more questions we find. That's what makes space so fascinating. It's endless in both size and mystery. So, which of these facts surprised you the most? Was it the planet of diamonds, the smell of space, or maybe the idea that time itself flows differently out there? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what blew your mind. And if you enjoyed this journey through the cosmos, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an adventure into the universe. Together, we'll keep exploring the wonders of space, one mystery at a time.